Stereotypes is how we think. Prejudice is how we feel. Discrimination is how we act. I'm Larry Fedoruk. This is Later That Same Life. On this weekly podcast, topics, discussions, stories from our lives.
Season 11, Chapter 3,
Ageism and
Stereotypes.
If you are really concerned about the amount of ageism in society today, you are likely old. That's the way it works. People of color are more concerned about racism than white people. Gay people are more concerned about homophobia than heterosexuals. And once you age, you notice the ageism. Oh, sure, you can be a very tolerant, accepting, and empathetic person. But when a particular prejudice or discrimination hits home for you, that still hurts. Stop it. Discrimination is the worst. Discrimination is how we act. I mean, it's bad enough that we think and feel certain ways about certain people that we lump into a group. But when we actually act upon those thoughts and feelings, it quickly turns to chaos. Discrimination. Putting people down, keeping them down, banning them, relegating them, ostracizing them, or even tolerating them as long as they stay with their own kind. That is discrimination. Discrimination comes, of course, from prejudice, how we feel, and that's tough because feelings run deep. And in general terms, we're encouraged to feel our feelings. I'm against prejudice and discrimination, but I sometimes mourn the loss of stereotypes. We can't really do stereotypes anymore. I get it, but it's too bad. And you know why I mourn the loss of stereotypes? Because at root, I'm a comedian. I was an actual comedian for many years, and I'm a big fan and student of comedy and humor. Stereotypes were funny. Stereotypes became stereotypes for a reason. And I always thought that if we were able to point that out, laugh at it, that we'd be better off. We'd notice the quirks and unusual habits that are similar among certain groups in society. And these observations would be, if not funny, at least mildly amusing from an observational point of view. Of course, we also needed those stereotypes to be able to laugh at themselves. We kind of lost that. Maybe because we took it too far? I don't know. But stereotypes are no longer allowed. Apu has not been on The Simpsons for over 6 years, although never officially killed off. The Simpsons people said they reserved the right to bring him back. But I don't believe that for a second, because think about it. Think about the repercussions if they had killed him off. Excuse me, but us over here, we think that Apu is a problematic stereotype. Okay then, we'll have him killed. That would have been the worst thing that they could do. White actor and multi-voice talent Hank Azaria said he'd stop voicing him. And no more Apu. But even during those years, The Simpsons knew what they were doing. They were doing stereotypes. That was part of the humor. There's a scene where Homer's bowling team, which consists also of Moe and Apu, have to take on Mr. Burns as a fourth. Of course, he's old and decrepit and terrible at bowling. After yet another gutter ball, the opposing team begins to cheer loudly. The opposing team is called the Stereotypes, and it consists of the Italian chef,
Mamma mia!
groundskeeper Willie, angry Scottish guy, Cletus, the local yokel,
Yeehaw!
and Arr, the sea captain.
Arr, mateys. Arr.
As they cheer, they cut to Apu, who laments,
Oh, they begged me to join their team. Begged me.
see? Stereotypes. They weren't just a joke. The joke was that we all have stereotypes. Can I watch old Simpsons Apu reruns guilt-free now? I guess not. Can I go back and watch a Peter Sellers classic movie, The Party? Does anyone even run that anymore because of the stereotype? Of course, part of that problem is a white guy playing a brown person. I also wondered recently why no one objected to Ben Kingsley playing Gandhi. Then I found out that Ben Kingsley was born Krishna Banji, his father of Indian descent. His mother was English. So should we only be half offended by him playing Gandhi? I blame the loss of stereotypes on people with no sense of humor. People who took it too seriously. People who thought that, yeah, all Italians were in the mafia. All Irish people drank to excess. All brown people ran convenience stores. All Jewish and Scottish people were frugal. What else we got here? Well, there's a lot. Black men are generally angry and in your face and to be feared. Gay men are swishy. Gay women are butchy. Russians are shifty. Polish people and Newfies are not the sharpest tools in the shed. God forbid they should have to change a light bulb. Them, of course, and any southern U.S. white guys, redneck hillbillies, the whole lot. Muslims are terrorists. English are snobs. Chinese can't drive. Neither can women, who are weaker than men. People who wear glasses are smarter. Well, on and on we go. Is there humor in any of that? Honestly, maybe. Some of this stuff can be funny. It has to be a good joke, not just cruel. But like I said, I feel that people without a sense of humor thought that all stereotypes were true. So we can't have any of it. This is why we can't have funny things. I remember this joke from when I was a kid. I told you that I used to love comedians, watch them whenever they would come on TV. I can't even remember exactly who the comedian was, but it was the Ed Sullivan Show, prime time TV on a Sunday night. #1 show, watched by millions. And a comedian came on and said, I just bought a brand new Japanese camera. When you press the button, it goes crick. The audience went wild. At home, I was literally ROFL. You could never do that joke today, and I understand. But is it so bad? The Japanese language does not have an L sound. And so when they speak English, it's difficult for them to say L. Ergo, some words may sound funny to others. Am I making fun of that person or of the idea? If I go to Japan and misspeak in their language, I expect them to laugh at me. But what do I know? I'm a white guy. That's my stereotype. Older white guy. Everyone thinks I'm privileged, a bigot, and part of the problem. Well, no, you see, I think I'm an empathetic white guy. So if the crick joke offends you as a Japanese person, or Apu is a problematic stereotype, then fair enough, no more. I wanted to make you laugh. Instead, you are offended. Well, whose fault is that? Let's just say mine, and I won't do the joke anymore. I can't tell you not to be offended. Your feelings are your feelings. I'll find something else to laugh at. Hopefully. It's getting tougher. Oh, there is the stereotype caveat, the exception, if you will. You can do stereotype jokes if you are from that stereotype. Russell Peters can do Indian jokes. You can have a sitcom about a Korean corner store, but you have to be Korean to write it. That's cool. That makes sense. You would have a perspective on your own stereotype from the inside that I couldn't possibly have from the outside looking in. And then there's, excuse me, Larry, isn't that joke offensive to Ukrainians? Oh, it's okay. I'm Ukrainian. It's okay. Is it? Sebastian Maniscalco can do Italian stereotype jokes and observations. But as a non-Italian, even if I recognize the stereotype, is it okay for me to laugh? Technically, not. Larry, non-Italian Larry, you find us funny? No, but you just said...
No, I don't know. You said... How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the f*** am I funny? What the f*** is so funny about me? Tell me what's funny.
Let's go back to the Simpsons bowling team. Fat, incompetent white guy Homer, convenience store Apu, Scottish guy Willie, etc., etc. Who's the one we found no offense over? Old and decrepit Montgomery Burns. Ageism. It's the last acceptable stereotype, the last acceptable prejudice, the last acceptable discrimination. Old people are fragile, senile, incapable, and incompetent. Let the jokes begin. A few weeks ago, I did a podcast on turning 60. More Canadians will turn 60 in 2023 than any other age. And 60 is a cutoff in society and in my opinion. 60 is senior citizen. You can be vibrant, lucid, healthy, fit, and youthful in appearance. Doesn't matter. 60, you get the senior's discount. Welcome to old age. In that podcast, I mentioned that upon turning 60, with my hair at first just ghostly turned a whiter shade of pale, I felt it. Not the age, but the ageism. I was treated differently. How? I don't know. Just little things. People over-explaining simple transactions, talking louder to me, offering me the seat on the bus. Yeah, these are acts of kindness, but ageist. Nowhere right now is ageism more prevalent than in the United States. No surprise there. They are the most racist, the most homophobic, the most misogynistic. Why not most ageist? And the thing is, a lot of Americans will speak out against racism, etc. But seconds later, they will be unapologetically ageist. The race for the president. Joe Biden just turned 81, oldest ever serving president. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out constantly. If you elect him again, at the end of his term, he'll be 85. Ooh, some sharp math there. Not sure even Joe Biden could handle that kind of calculation. 81 plus 4 is 85. And FYI, if it's Donald Trump, he would be 82 at the end of his term. Yeah, but Joe Biden just fell off his bike. Yeah, that's because he was out riding a bike. Donald Trump has never been on a bike. Imagine a top news anchor or political pundit saying, I don't know if I should vote for this particular candidate because he is black. Well, I'd vote for them, but they are gay. That kind of thing would never happen. But Joe Biden, I don't know, he's 81. So, because I'll tell you this, the daily duties of a U.S. president do not include pole vaulting, quarterbacking the Broncos, swimming the English Channel, or winning gold on the pommel horse. Frankly, you wouldn't even have to bend down to tie your own shoes if your back hurt that day. You're the president. The job is making difficult decisions based on years of experience and wisdom after listening to and understanding large panels of advisors. There's no rugby. Granted, there can be some challenges, physical and mental, that can be age-related. But nobody's really talking about those, are they? They're talking about the number, like it's automatic. Joe Biden is a veteran legislator and politician, a sympathetic and empathetic warrior for democracy. But he's 81. Donald Trump is a loud, obnoxious, racist prick. But he's only 78. You know, some societies hold their elders in greater esteem. Not us. We're uncomfortable with old. We who are young don't like the implications of old, and we who are old don't appreciate the treatment. Old people should be in special homes for old people, not because they need the care and attention, which some do, but to keep them away from the rest of us, segregate them to their own area. Okay, once a month they can take the bus to the casino, but that's it. Recently, TikTok ran a TV ad. Yeah, I know, TikTok running TV ads for some reason, where they introduced TikTok to an old folks' home, a retirement center. The TikTok videos showed old people trying to do youthful things, but not for their benefit, but our amusement. Old people are funny. That's your stereotype. That's your ageism. Do I amuse you?
Funny how?
You're funny.
Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I make you laugh, I'm here to amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Ageism is in our language. He's 75 years young. You know, age is just a number, meaning, of course, that the number doesn't define how old you feel. I agree. But does that mean you won't require a party or gifts on the day the number changes? If it's just a number, why is there an entire industry based around keeping track? Ageism has an anti-old language that people use, like time to give the new generation a chance. Let's inject some youth. Even retirement or semi-retirement is just a nice way of saying, hey, give up and get out of the way. I worked for a program director in radio, a 30-something, who said he didn't like seeing so many white hairs in the halls. He said this out loud and to people, and he's now in charge of several radio stations across Canada. I worked for another general manager who used to call me Uncle Larry, to my face and in front of everyone. How's Uncle Larry today? It's not because I'm avuncular. I'm not. I was just older than him. Uncle Larry made me feel terrible. Even if we try and be positive about aging, we don't really mean it. Hey, you look good really means you look good for 60. A lot of it's based on looks, pretty superficial. I mean, there's Joe Biden at 80 and Mick Jagger at 80. There's your 85-year-old grandmother, and there's 85-year-old Jane Fonda. 78-year-old Donald Trump, 78-year-old Neil Young. Well, maybe Donald Trump wins that one. But I bring up Neil Young because how does he feel singing his hit song Old Man now at 78 as compared to when he first wrote it over 50 years ago? Maybe change the lyric now. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you are. A lot of older people spend a lot of time shopping around for a good tombstone. If that ends up the only thing on this earth to prove you were once here, sad for you. There is a fine line between honoring the accomplishments of age and out-and-out ageism. Right now, ageism is winning. Back to stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. We think, we feel, and we act. Discrimination, our actions, being the worst. And here is why ageism is the toughest one to fight. If you put down people based on race, gender, orientation, etc., eventually those like-minded people begin talking to each other, organizing, finding strength in numbers, saying enough is enough and fighting back. You can't push us around, we're here to stay. Old people, though, are not here to stay. Our time is limited. Our days are numbered. And it's not ageist to say that oft times we feel we'd like to just get on with other things. We spent a good part of our lives battling idiots. Now suddenly I gotta start again with these ageist bozos. Over the years, we've tried to fight ageism, gray power, AARP, the CARP. But we're not that organized. We don't even know what to call ourselves. Seniors, retired, elders, old people, golden agers, silver-haired, pensioners, geezers, oldsters, old-timer, young at heart, Uncle Larry. I like what the universities do. Generally, professors upon retirement are still allowed to call themselves professor, but they have this very fancy suffix, emeritus, professor emeritus. Now, you still don't get an office or a paycheck, but you get the title, which is cool. That little bit of dignity should apply across the board, don't you think? What are you doing now, Larry? Well, I'm a talk show host emeritus. Me and my friend Bill, who's a plumber emeritus, play cribbage every Tuesday. In a world rife with prejudice, ageism is the last acceptable one. It's also the most universal. World population 60 years and older is about 1 billion people right now, and that's expected to double by 2050. Also doubling the potential for ageism. Last week I was talking about the world's biggest industries by annual revenue. Number 1 was global telecommunications. Number 2 was world oil and gas. The next 2 are based on old age. Number 3 is global life and health insurance. And number 4 industry in the world by revenue is world pension funds. Trillions annually, based on the illusion that we are all setting aside money for our old age. I guess my check is still in the mail. It is interesting. You could have battled racism, misogyny, and homophobia your entire life. And just when you think you've made it, bam, hey, move it along, old lady. Or maybe you lived prejudice-free your entire life, but not after your 60th birthday. That'll be $5.19 with the senior's discount. Do you know how to use a debit card? Hey, easy there, you punk. I may be a patron of this establishment, but don't be patronizing me. That's ageism. In media, most old people are portrayed as taking medicine, getting a brand new easy walk-in tub, or reminiscing about being young. I guarantee you younger people write those commercials. It's their impression of what it's like to get old. Older people, we are living longer, and consequently, there's more of us. Yet, society is not prepared, financially, medically, and with this amount of ageism out there, apparently not socially. This old couple goes to another old couple's house for dinner one night. After dinner, the men retire to the living room while the women clean up. Good story so far, huh? Well, that was a great meal, says the guest. Boy, thank you very much. That was great. The other guy says, oh, we had a great meal last night. We went to this restaurant. Oh, best restaurant ever. Oh, what's the name of it, says the other guy. I might like to go there one night. The name. Yeah, just a minute. What's the name? What's that popular flower that everyone likes? Daisy? No, not Daisy. You know, men wear it in their lapel sometimes. Oh, carnation. No, not carnation. No, it's a fancier flower. It's a nice, and they wear it, and sometimes it's got like a thorn. Oh, rose. Yeah. Rose, that's it. Hey, Rose, what was the name of that restaurant we went to last night? Is that funny?
No, I don't know. You said. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the f*** am I funny? What the f*** is so funny about me? Tell me what's
Later That Same Life is written, voiced, and produced by Larry Fedoruk. LarryFedoruk37@gmail.com. Subscribe to Larry's podcast YouTube channel. Get automatic notifications with each new episode.